We are leaving the old and we are stepping into the new. The only way we are going to receive calm is by chaos. The truth is unfolding. Hello, my name is Lucy Davis. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Happy Christmas to all of you who celebrate that around the world. To those of you who don't celebrate, I hope you've had an amazing few days doing whatever it is that you have been doing. So I'm actually filming this video on December the 25th, which if you live in the United Kingdom is known as Boxing Day. I can't speak about anywhere else around the world. I know America just gets back to normal. I know Spain gets back to normal, and a few other places like that. So wherever you are around the world, I hope this video finds you extremely well and that you have had the most beautiful period of time with your family, if you've seen your family, or with your loved ones, or with your friends, or whatever that looks like to you. Now, I know, like myself, there's a lot of people around the world who don't celebrate Christmas. And although I had the most incredible day yesterday with friends, connected to Mother Earth on the beach, there are people out there who do not celebrate this period of time. And so I hope whatever you've done, you've just been able to have a beautiful little bit of time with your friends and your family, if nothing else. Now, ladies and gents, the energies are absolutely profound right now. They are bubbling in a way that we have never known, and we are really getting in this excited period for January 2024, which is just a few days away. I can't actually believe that I'm saying this. Like, I've been talking about 2024 for a very long time. Obviously, it's the nature of the beast of what I do. And this is intense. Like, this is really quite interesting, what is happening right now. So we need to very much speak about what is going to be coming. But before I do that, I would like you guys to know that we are very much in the period of the full moon energy right now. And the full moon is literally today, it's tonight. So as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going back out to meet friends and just do a little bit of a full moon connection and just a little bit of full moon clearing, which I think is really important at this time. Now, if you haven't watched my full moon video, ladies and gents, please do hop over and check that out. But this video today is about January 2024. Now, what's interesting is I was walking along the beach this morning. I'd been for a run and I was walking along the beach barefoot, and I got this message that I need to do a video around 2024 energies, which was really quite interesting because all of this information started channeling through me about light codes, about frequencies, about vibrations. And I was like, Sarah. So I'm going to be looking to channel and do a video on 2024 as its entirety in the next couple of days. So do keep your eyes peeled for that one, ladies and gents. Now, first and foremost, there's a couple of things that I'd really like to speak to you about. Firstly, if you are not on my weekly woo, which is my weekly newsletter, please do head over and jump on that. Through 2024, we are going to be running some really beautiful incentives, and we are going to be sharing lots of free stuff and lots of free opportunities to get stuff from myself, my coaches, my programs. So the only way you are going to receive those offers, they're not going to go through my social media. The only way you are going to receive those is by jumping on the weekly woo. Now, if you are already subscribed to it, but you haven't seen it for a little while, please do check out your junk folder. This week, I actually sent it out on yesterday on Christmas Day, so a day early, and it was literally just a personal message from myself. Next week, we'll be going back to sending it out on a Tuesday, and it will be a full weekly woo. I just wanted to connect with you guys on Christmas Day, just send you some love and some inspiration for those of you in and around the world who do celebrate, but also who do not celebrate. I've had so many emails back off the back of that weekly woo, which was literally just a personal statement from myself, like I say, and I do feel it's very important that we do that. So if you are on the weekly woo and you haven't received it for a while, or you haven't seen it for a while, please do go and check out your junk folder, because it may well be in there. Because ladies and gents, you are not going to want to miss the free spaces for Soul School. You are not going to want to miss the free one-to-ones with myself or one of my coaches. You are not not going to want to miss the opportunity to get a signed book from myself. Like, we have got loads of incentives that are going to be coming out this year, and we are creating such a huge surge so that you, as the ambassadors of the Lucy Davis brand, can earn some more cash. And I don't know about you guys, but going into 2024, it's very much about finances and very much about abundance. So I don't know about you guys, but it is time to start. If you're not already an ambassador of my brand, head over to my website and you can check that out. In fact, I will pop a link in the description field. I just need to remember to do that. But if I do forget for any reason, if you go to www.lucydavis.com and look along the top tabs, there is a tab for ambassador there, and you can basically earn money off of my programs and off of doing stuff within the brand. So please do keep an eye on that. And you know what, if you're going to be sharing my content anyway, why not get paid for it? Like, this is my philosophy. You guys are so loyal to me and you are so loving towards me. Why would I not want to help you guys, you know? And we are stepping into a world whereby we need multiple streams of income, and I'm a massive fan of that. I'm actually supposed to be doing an interview with a lady on Facebook tomorrow, Facebook Live, all about how we create different, different streams of income. So maybe if you're on my Facebook, please do check that out whenever it goes out. I don't know when that's going to be. The second thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is Soul School. Soul School is happening on the 16th and 17th of March. It is happening in Bristol, United Kingdom, and we only have a handful of spaces left for that event. So please, please, please do go over, and if you sign up before the 14th of January, you get an option to pay over 3 months. If you sign up after the 14th of January, unfortunately, it's just a one-off payment that you guys can sign up for. So if you've got some money for Christmas and you're like, what can I invest in it? You know, where do I want to spend this money? Maybe, just maybe, Soul School is the thing for you. Our Soul School events are catastrophic. They are absolutely massive. And if you love the meditation that I did back on the 20th of December in readiness for solstice, which happened in the early hours of the morning on the 22nd, so it was like the evening of the 21st into the 22nd, please, please, please do know that, that is just a very short little example as to what goes on at Soul School. We do a lot of work around helping you create your own reality. So ladies and gents, without further ado, I think it is time for us to talk about the January energies for 2024. Now, as I said at the beginning, we are literally today on the 26th of December, rattling around in the full moon energy. And if you haven't watched the video on that, I'm going to do my best not to repeat any of that stuff because, we have had a lot of, I have done a whole video. I think it's like 35, 40, maybe even 40 minutes long, that video. So there is a whole, and that's going to last into the start of January. But what I've done here is I have done my best to strip out the bits that are purely for January 2024, and we are going to see the timeline speed up in a massive way right now. So we are leaving the old and we are stepping into the new, going from December into January 2024. Now, if I say that what I'm being shown is like that we're shaking things up right now. We are, as things are speeding up, obviously things are bobbing around a little bit more. If you think about it, when you're on a speedboat, how quickly you bounce across the water, like that is what is happening right now. The energies are speeding up, the frequencies on the planet are speeding up, people's spiritual awakening is speeding up. People are like, really getting confused and really trying to get in alignment with what on earth is going on. Like the conversations that I'm having are people are either sick right now, or they are going through some sort of shift or a dark night of the soul. And again, I mentioned that very heavily in the full moon energy update. So with regards to January 2024, there are a few threads that are going to be quite prevalent in January. One is finances. Another is technology, and another is relationships. Now, relationships is going to be a massive thread through 2024 in its entirety. In fact, all of those three are, if I'm honest with you. We are going to be collapsing some serious karma in 2024. But like I say, I'm going to give that, I'm going to do a separate video on that, because what was coming through me today will absolutely, you'll be like, oh my goodness gracious me, I thought we said 2023 was the last year of serious catastrophic change. So the initial thing, other than obviously them giving me the headings, I was shown that there are multiple timelines at play right now. And this is why we are having such profound dreams. We are having things shaken up in such a significant way. It's like we are in our dream state. We're kind of like jumping between different timelines, and we're trying to choose which one to go for and how it's going to play out, because what we're attempting to do is pick the best one. And the thing is, you know, we don't know the way that this is going to go. There are so many different things at play right now, and we actually need the good, the bad, and the ugly for us to be able to decide with clarity and with love in our hearts and with passion what is right for us. And the biggest flex that we are going to be feeling in 2024, or at least January 2024, is, you know, whatever I'm deciding, it's okay if my mum decides something different. It's okay if that person over there decides something different. And we're almost going to be shedding that need to be right, shedding that need to be heard, because we are gaining in a standing that whatever is happening on the inside of us is actually going to be serving us and serving our choices. Okay. There are multiple options out there, and what you pick one day is not going to be what you pick the next day. There's going to be this like massive peak and trough of energy. As I was running along the beach this morning before I went for a walk on the sand, I kept getting, you know, grab your surfboard, it's time to ride the cosmic waves. And I was like, oh my goodness gracious me, I thought we'd been doing that a very long time now. But what they are saying to me is, like, depending on which timeline you're choosing, depending on who you're choosing to hang out with, depending on what you're choosing to watch, and the energy that you're giving to things, that this is going to decide your timeline. This is going to decide what it is that you want. And, you know, you could be getting into bed every night with your partner and living on a completely different timeline. There are multiple coexisting in the same place right now. Okay. Now, I don't usually use the word timelines, but I'm using timeline because when I talk about realms, people get a little bit like, oh my God, that's a little bit too much, or, you know, it's a little bit out there. But the way that I see it is just there's multiple options and multiple different you know, circumstances and situations that are taking place at exactly the same time, and you could be on this one here and then move to that one there and then move to that one there and just literally be dodging around. That's kind of what I'm talking about right now. So what this basically means for January 2024 is that we are going to see the greatest shift that humanity has ever seen. You think that, you know, if you just go back 3 years, well, it's almost 4 years now, isn't it? You know, when lockdown took place, like, think about how big the shifts have taken place. Like, think about the divide that has taken place between many humans. Now, this is going to shift even more so. Now, I'm not suggesting that situation is going to play out again, although I do feel that something is going to happen in the first quarter. I don't necessarily believe it's going to be that. I truly believe that people are really starting to get the memo. They're starting to connect the dots, and they're starting to realize that things don't quite make sense. The stories that we have been told, like, the facts don't add up. You know, I've said this on a couple of occasions over the last month or so. Like, I have people reaching out to me that were my best friends like 20 years ago, that thought I was batshit crazy during lockdown and thought my choices were crazy. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, you know what? Like, what you're talking about is starting to make a lot of sense to me. Can you talk to me about it? Can you help me? Can you ground me into this? Like, I just need a little bit of guidance. So on that note, the truth is unfolding. The truth is unfolding right before our eyes. And, you know, there is a massive thread of recognizing how you have held yourself back. Now, a massive discussion through 2024 is going to be around the toxicity between the balance of the energies of divine feminine and divine masculine, and this has to unfold in many different avenues, many different ways. So systems will need to be collapsed. The politics and the political world is going to need to be collapsed. Like, there are so many different facets, and this is all part of the spiritual awakening. Like, I don't see any of that lower vibrational stuff as bad per se, but what I know is holding us back is the amount of energy that it's getting from the number of people that it's getting. The more people that go, nah, I'm just not going to feed into that anymore, is how we are going to shift consciousness. And that is the name of the game, ladies and gents, for January 2024. It's almost like we're going, you know what, I'm not going to feed that anymore, because feeding that is going to be holding us back there. And what a lot of people are recognizing, and certainly I'm recognizing, is, I was one of those people at the start of 2020, even before 2020, from about 2018, I was beating the drum on what I perceived was going to take place. But now I'm like way past that, and I'm talking about consciousness and shifting and, creating my own reality. But now I've kind of we've handed over to other people to beat the drum and wake the next round of people up. So don't feel that you need to go back because that's getting more attention. Like, people are going to get it. This spiritual awakening, there is no way that we're going back. So people are either going to quantum leap forwards with us, or they're going to be, maybe staying in their loop for the next 10 years. And whatever they choose, we're not here to judge those people. We're just here to love on those people and let them go on their journey. Now, thank God, on the 1st of January, 2nd of January, Mercury is going to go direct, which basically means that Mercury is no longer in retrograde, which basically means there is going to be less of the communication breakdowns, less of the technology issues that have been taking place. Now, for a couple of weeks, so until the middle of January, it's still going to be in shadow. So there is a period of a little bit of intensity, but nothing like what we have seen over the last 2 weeks since it actually went into retrograde. Now, I say this a lot, I can go into Mercury retrograde and absolutely nothing happens. This time round, very interesting, literally the day we stepped into it, there was a massive communication breakdown in my life. And it was very interesting. I wanted to, get nitpicky. I wanted to speak my truth. And actually what I did is I sat with it and I breathed through it and actually came out of it very, very, very quickly. The old Lucy, as much as she wanted to surface, she didn't. So this has been a really beautiful transitional period. And, the other thread that's coming in massively for January is, we've been in hibernation mode through December. It's like Gaia has been put to sleep. Now, Gaia is just about to start picking up speed. And in the early part of January, we're going to see her starting to come back online. We're going to be starting to step towards the longer days, thank goodness, in the Northern Hemisphere. I get to this time of the year and I wish this part of the year away. And I know that I shouldn't do that, but I do. I'm a real sunshine baby. I like light. It's not that I fear the dark. I've got my biggest growth from the dark. However, I am a sunshine baby, and this is why at this time of year I'm like, come on, Mama G, kick back in. And over the next few days, she already has done. We're 4 days out of solstice now, so she already is starting to come back online. She already is starting to reboot, and I can really feel that. I am very, very connected to Gaia, so I feel that on a deep, deep, deep conscious level. Now, in January 2024, we have to be open to perspectives, ladies and gents. There is light and there is dark, and we need to be making sure that we are seeing what we are seeing. Now, there has been a lot of what I'm going to call rainbow clouds in and around the world. Off the back of the work that I did on the 20th and the 21st of December, moving into the 22nd of December, I'm not kidding when I say hundreds of people around the world have sent me pictures of clouds with rainbows in, and this is exactly the sign. Since I did work in Ireland, end of October, beginning of November, this is the sign that Gaia told me she was going to be showing me, to show us that we are doing what we need to be doing. However, Some people will see those rainbow clouds as, oh my God, these are new codes coming in. This is new earth. This is beautiful. And other people say, well, it's just the chemicals that are being sprayed in the sky. And then, the light refracts on it and this is what's happening. And this is all about perspectives, ladies and gents. If you want to be one of those people who is on the more negative side of the doom and the gloom, please know that you are going to see more doom and gloom. If you are somebody who's like, wow, this is really profound, this is really beautiful, you are going to be creating more light in your life. Just know that fear and love cannot coexist in the same place. So there are multiple perspectives out there. Choose your own and go with it, but do not be surprised if you're the one saying, yeah, this is chemicals, this is the output of chemicals. Do not be surprised if you see more darkness in your life. And ladies and gents, whatever you need to choose is down to you. Whatever you need to choose is down to you for you to get your shifts and for you to get what it is that you want. But do not, like I'm sharing my perspective. I personally choose to see that as a sign from Gaia to say, Lucy, the work that you've done has gone very, very well. Like if somebody over there wants to think it's something different, I'm not going to have an argument with them about it. I don't need to. Like I'm allowed my perspective, they're allowed their perspective. And you know what? That's okay. So if you're the person that sees the chemicals, please honor that other people are allowed their opinions as well. And I think this is a really important discussion to have, especially as we step into January 2024 energy. Please check things over. Now, this is normally something that I say around Mercury retrograde is, if you're signing a contract, check it, double check it, triple check it, maybe even wait till after retrograde is over to be able to do that. But what they've told me very significantly is make sure that you are checking things over from a consciousness perspective. Make sure all of the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, because this is how you are going to change your life. This is how you are going to make the impact that you need to do. There are many things, and I've done this a couple of times. I have made, done a video and I'm like, shit, I completely forgot about that point. Or I've had a conversation with someone and I'm like, shit, completely forgot about that. Like, this is what they're highlighting here. Very important that we are just consciously making sure that everything is there. Now, what's fascinating, ladies and gents, is over the last week, I've been having conversations and somebody will say to me, or give me an example of that. And I'm like, God, I know it's just happened, but I can't give you the example. And it's literally like my memory has been wiped. Now, I haven't taken my Amigas for a few days. So obviously, because I've run out of them and I'm waiting, I'll pick them up when I next go to the UK. But so I'm like, oh my God, is it just my Amigas? But then today I did a meditation and I asked the question and I was like, okay, why is my memory not working? When I need to give examples, why is my memory not firing on all cylinders? Because my memory is very, very good. Honestly, any of my friends will tell you it's very, very good. However, what they've told me is, as you are healing, it's almost like we are wiping those memories. So if you're having a conversation with somebody and you make a point of something, it's because you've literally healed it. And then your mind, that part of your consciousness can be wiped. So I don't know how that resonates with you. I'd love to hear in the chat if you've noticed anything about your memory, but this is really quite interesting from my perspective right now. Because like I say, my memory is normally like firing on all cylinders. And although my Amigas are amazing, I'm not too sure that it's anything to do with that. A fun bit of energy for you for the start of the year is friendships are going to be really, really bubbling. If you put some effort into something or into a social gathering, it is going to be much more profound. It's going to be much more exciting. It's going to be much more connecting. Now, I'm doing quite a bit of speaking back in the UK during January, so I'm going to be running events all over the UK, which I am so excited about. And it doesn't surprise me that we organised this many, many weeks ago, and then all of a sudden it's like, yes, you need to put more social events in the diary. Welcome new people into your life. If you want that, of course. The people that are going to be coming into your life in January are going to be soulmates. They're going to be soul family. This is about our soul pods coming back together, our soul connections, those soul vibrations that make us feel, much more alive, much more safe and things like that. So please, 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 if you do feel drawn to socialize, if you do feel drawn to get out, even though it's still quite cold up here in the Northern Hemisphere, please do that. Now, as I've said many times, relationships are the spotlight of 2024. Relationships are not meant to be painful, ladies and gents. They're not. yes, they are massive healing. And I say often, intimate relationships is the last thing that I know that I've got to heal. I've worked on my health. I've worked on my wealth. I've worked on every other area of me. And I put intimate relationships on hold. Like, I was single for 6 years before my last relationship. And it's very interesting that the connections that are coming in now, they're very much about growth. They're very much about love. And I mean true love. They are very much about warmth and deep, deep, deep soul connections. So, if you are somebody who's just come out of a relationship, or maybe you are somebody who's like, oh, I'm never getting another relationship again, now is the time to just open your heart and just let yourself find the connections, whether it be social events or something like that, because there is an overwhelming surge of love that is going to be hitting Earth through January. I love that. You guys know I'm literally Lucy Love. And, for me, when I have to talk about love, when I talk about relationships, I just come alive because it feels so, so, so powerful that we are in this period of time where we can literally just say, I'm going to choose love. And that love, if we're giving it out, we're going to get it back tenfold. And to me, that is just, I'm living proof of this fact. So that's really, if you ever need somebody or someone to show you that, what love you put out, you get back. Like, I'm literally living that right now, which is beautiful. Now, there is a massive thread of solitude and isolation through January. Many of us are going to want to step offline and go inwards. Now, what's interesting is, I took some serious time out over the last week to go inwards, to recharge, to reboot. And what they're showing me is that, I was just almost doing it a little bit before other people. In January, this is going to be, we're almost going to want to switch the computer off and back on again to reboot. And what's going to happen off the back of that is that we're going to be getting a lot of answers coming from within. We need to recognize that we're constantly being told someone's going to come and save us, and Jesus is going to resurrect, and Trump's going to get back into power. So we're constantly looking outside of ourselves. But this reboot that we're going to look to do in January is going to prove to us that we have got all of the answers within, that we have got a new level of power, that if we can surrender to it, we are going to immerse in it. We're going to remember that joy is found in peace. My nose is getting itchy. What a surprise. So we can find joy in peace. And this is very, very, very important. Now, like I said at the beginning, the spiritual awakening is taking place very, very swiftly on the planet. And what comes with that is our spiritual gifts coming online. Do not be surprised if you become psychic. Do not be surprised if all of a sudden you can read other people's thoughts. And do not be surprised if you start seeing or hearing spirit or something wild like that, because we are all coming back online. Like I say, it's like we're having a literal reboot and allowing ourselves to come back online. We have 12 months, ladies and gents, before we step into a totally, totally new world based on the decisions that we have made. So January will see lots of new opportunities presenting themselves. Loads of new ideas coming online. I see innovation as a massive thread for 2024. There are going to be new perspectives and there are going to be new beginnings. So be open to them. Sometimes new beginnings are extremely painful endings. So if something is ending in a very painful way right now, just surrender to it, lean into it, love it, and allow yourself to be stepping forwards into whatever the new beginning is. Now, I'm going to say this with a little bit of a deep breath, because towards the end of the month, I was told very clearly that it might be that old people, so people from your past, may well surface. Do not be surprised if people surface to say that they're sorry, if people surface to say that they miss you, if people surface to say that they want you back, something like that. So please be aware of this and just love on those people if that happens and deal with it in whichever way. More often than not, that doesn't necessarily mean the best way to deal with that is via a text message back or something like that. So just bear that in mind as this month unfolds, ladies and gents. Do not do anything that is going to, create an issue with you and your life as it currently stands. Like the grass isn't always greener. Going backwards isn't always forwards, things like that. So I'm going to leave that with you guys because it's all free will and it's down to you to decide that, but I had to share that with you. So the next thread was very much about we're going to be given new solutions. So this is going to be new ways to deal with old problems. We're going to be seeing the financial systems don't quite work in our way, and we're going to be finding new ways to deal with those old problems. So just remember, anything that you are struggling with right now, next month and into the first quarter of 2024, you will start to notice that things may seem different, and maybe you've got different coping mechanisms, and maybe you've got different ways of just working through it. So please bear that in mind. If you have frustrations now at the end of December, please remember that you may well in a couple of days time, in a week's time, have completely different coping mechanisms because something just drops into your lap. There is new opportunities or new ideas coming through to you, or maybe somebody will have a conversation with you and you'll be like, wow, I can implement that in my life. I certainly know in the last week, I have done that with a number of people, and they're like, my God, I feel so different since you've told me that. So just be open to receiving from every angle. We're going to have a whole new desire for freedom in January 2024. We are going to be leaning into, obviously, we're going to be stepping towards spring, and we are going to be, starting to have longer days. And with this comes the new revamped energy, and we want our freedom. We are going to take ownership. We are going to take responsibility, and we are going to take charge of our lives, and we are going to be proud of it. There is a whole surge of rebirth. There is a new you on the cards, ladies and gents, if you want to choose it. Now, I know where I'm concerned, where I fit right now is I am always open to being a new version. My focus for 2024 is to be the best partner that I can possibly be. I want to be the best conduit for consciousness that I can possibly be. I really would love to be able to help as many people as possible around the world through 2024 in regards to Soul School. And I've got this newfound strength, this new me that is coming online that is going to assist me in my mission to do that. Now, something that I found today, and I wanted to put it in the January update because it was really surging through me today, is cherish and honor anything that you deem to be sacred. So today I spent a bit of time before I went out with some friends that I wanted to make my space really sacred. So I went round and I smudged it, and I've set up a new crystal grid, and I've, revamped my plants, and I've shifted crystals around, and I've set certain things up so that my space is even more sacred than it has been before. And I've got to be honest with you, ladies and gents, it feels like totally different. So anything that you find sacred, anything that you really love, anything that you know is going to help you on your journey, please, please, please invest energy in that. Now, that might be journaling. That might be, setting your space up. This might be with your clients. This could be your healing journey. This could be the processes or your tools and techniques that you use. Remember, the only thing that is stopping you having whatever it is that you want is you. Whatever is stopping you from having your sacred space, having your sacred life, having the beautiful relationship that you deserve, having that child, having the abundance, the only thing stopping you is you. And this is about the self-responsibility. And this is why I feel our spaces and our world and our relationships must step into a much more sacred perspective. If you are allowing somebody to use you, if you do not know where you stand with somebody, it's best to ask, and it's best to, look at that and decide if that is sacred to you. We need to know where we stand with people and with things and with our life so that we can make the decisions that work for us. You are blocking you, ladies and gents. I'm not blocking you. Your partner's not blocking you. It's you and your choices that are blocking you. So it's very important that we recognize this and own this. Now, healing is going to be, for the first couple of weeks in January, there's going to be a big, big, big surge of healing. Now, on the flip side of that, what they showed me is that suffering is going to come to the surface. So the only way we can heal is by suffering. So what needs to happen for us to get our deep trauma healing is going to happen. That might be an argument with your partner. That might be miscommunication. That might be, God forbid, somebody passing over, something like that. For you to be able to get that wound raised within you, because when we recognize our trauma, when we actually look at our wounds, that's what leads us to our power. This is how we gain greater wisdom. This is how we gain greater compassion. This is how we elevate our gifts. It's very important that we recognize we cannot get what we need from the light. We have to go to our shadow self. We have to, really go to the depths of our traumas to be able to get the wisdom that we need to be able to share forwards. And that's what we all incarnated to do. We incarnated to recognize that it is so easy to get caught up in victimhood. It's so easy to get caught up in our traumas and our suffering. But when we can step out of our victimhood, which is going to be a massive collapse of the ego through 2024, we get the gold, or what I call the gold anyway. As long as you sit there and be like, oh, well, if that person hadn't passed, then I would be okay, then we're holding ourselves back. Ladies and gents, like I briefly touched on earlier, in the first quarter of 2024, I do see something happening that is going to divide and unite the world in a significant way. And you might be sat there going, Lucy, how can it divide and unite? I truly believe that the only way we are going to receive calm is by chaos. The only way we are going to really step into a world of peace and what we call Shambhala or New Earth is by creating absolute chaos. So we're going to divide through chaos, but then we're going to come back together and be like, you know what, we are stronger together. And this, ladies and gents, is how I see the world shifting in a significant way. We cannot continue doing the old stuff and expect change. We can't. We cannot keep treading water, yet choose to live in a high level of consciousness. We can't do that. So for me, January is the first stepping stone in creating the world that we have all been talking about for a very, very, very long time. Now, I know that this isn't a video of absolute positivity, and I know it's not a video of doom and gloom. It is a video that is very realistic and something that we are in a position of power on, believe it or not. The information that we've got is wisdom that we can use to our advantage. And, we have this next year in my eyes as another quite transformative year in a very different way to the last year. And then 2025 is going to be the year whereby the choices have been made. In 2026, we're going to be living in a very, very, very different world. Very different world. So it's important for us to do our work on ourselves. It's important for us to invest in us, and it's important for us to come together. Love your family a little bit more, treat them with more respect, even if they piss you off, just love them. And I actually set a challenge on my Instagram the other day, and that was, give somebody that you love a call and just say to them, I love you. Even if they've upset you, even if they've pissed you off, just say those words to them. And, because God knows what might happen. And I just really felt drawn to do that. And the beautiful messages that I've received off the back of that has been profound. Anyway, ladies and gents, like I say, I'm going to pop a video out before New Year for the whole of 2024. So God knows when that's going to come, but it will be, hopefully, fingers crossed, before New Year's Day. And then you can immerse in that and listen to that as to what's going to be happening through the whole of the year for the incoming year that is 2024. So, ladies and gents, if I don't see you before for any reason, please, please, please enjoy your new year. I hope you've had the most incredible Christmas. And thank you so much once again for all of your support this year. It has been absolutely amazing. There are so many of you out there that have literally kept me going in some of my darkest days. So from my heart to yours, thank you so much. I love you guys to the moon and stars, and I will catch you in the next video. Lots of love.